So you've got a factory in Upland and you're wondering, how do I make it work? What do I do now? Well, that's what this video is about.
The latest breaking news with Shaktilyn in Upland, and the news with latest in Upland, with the metaverse, step into the world, ready to with the Shaktilyn, step into the world, ready to with the metaverse, step into the world, ready to with the with the Shack Attack.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Shack Attack. I am Shaktilyn, and due to questions from the community, I decided to create this video about factories. A lot of people build a factory in Upland and then they say, well, how do I make it work? What am I supposed to do now? I want to produce 3D assets like I see other players doing. So let's jump into how to make your factory work. So once you have a factory, what you need to do is you need to procure a product. And there's a few ways to do that. If you know how to use Blender, you can create your own 3D assets to manufacture in your factory. Now, personally, I don't know how to use Blender. I do know that Blender is a free software, free to download, and there are tutorials on YouTube and tutorials that have been produced by our own UGC community that will show you how to learn Blender. But there's another way that you can go, and that would be to hire a designer. So we have great creators in the Upland community that will design assets for you for a price. So I'm going to assume that you're not a Blender artist, and I want to give you a couple of ideas for how you can go about getting your factory up and running. So let me share my screen. I want to show you some of what's available. Give me just a second here to get organized. Well, that didn't work out the way I wanted. Okay. There is a player in game. His name is Charles_FR. And he runs Factory Metaventures. Let me show you some of his work. Okay, so these have all been created by Charles FR. We've got the Monument Collection. He makes monuments and flags and a variety of different map assets. This is work that he has already completed. Paris Collection, games, Factory Metaventures, the Rock and Roll Collection, the Fruit Collection. So these are the Robot Collection and an Art Collection, Japanese, all kinds of different things. So these are ones that have already been created. But if you have your own ideas for what you would like to manufacture in your factory, you can give those ideas to an artist, such as Charles_FR of Factory Metaventures. There is another creator. Let me remove this. And pull up another one for you. Sorry. Thank you for being patient and bearing with me. I've almost got this figured out. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again so that I can show you another artist. All right, so this is another Upland player named Manumioto 21. And she has produced a whole bunch of assets as well. This is the Matsuda yellow cart. And we have the skull. That would look great in Creedmoor Hub. Very cool. And a structure ornament. That's pretty. So, right, these artists have made a lot of map assets and structure ornaments for others in the Upland community. And I would encourage you to reach out to the UGC community in Upland because if you have ideas of what you want to create, they can create for you. And usually the prices are quite reasonable, and you can start your manufacturing journey as soon as you have some assets. And so the way that this works is you know how to apply for a Metaventure, right? You would go to the city hall in the city where you have your factory, and you go to city hall and you put in an application for a factory Metaventure. You will also want to have a showroom, and you'll need to put in an application in the city where your showroom exists. You probably want to have the showroom in the same city as your factory, potentially, because when Upland implements transportation, it's possible that you will no longer be able to airdrop, right, the assets that your factory produces onto your showroom property. You might actually need to load them into a truck and drive. So some people have placed their showrooms close to their factories, and that's probably something I would suggest doing. So you go to City Hall in the city where your factory and your showroom are located, and then you fill out the application for your factory and your showroom. Once your factory gets approved, you get the approval notice by email. And then it will give you a link that tells you where to submit, how to submit your new asset for production. I will go ahead and show you the process. So first of all, if you want to contact a designer, I highly suggest that you go into the Upland server on Discord. And there is a channel there called Upland UGC. UGC means Upland Generated Content. That's what the UGC community is your community of designers. And it's a channel that you would probably use yourself once you get your factory running, because you might have questions from time to time, questions for the community and questions for people on the Upland design team, or the UGC team. So if you are looking for a designer, you can go into the UGC channel and you can say, hey, I'm looking for a designer. Is anyone available to design for me? And those that are available will respond to you. And then you can talk about price and design and come to an agreement. So again, the examples I showed you were Manu Miyoto 21 and Charles_FR. They're two of many great designers already in the UGC community. Now, once your factory gets approved and your artist sends you the files, you need to know how to submit those files. So I will take a quick moment to show you what that process looks like. Let's see. Oh. Okay, so when your designer sends you your files, and that's always a really exciting day, you're going to have a folder that looks something like this. So you need to have 5 files for submission. And once you have those files, you are going to go to the Upland playground. I had it open, but I've lost it. Oh, I found it. Okay, so here's your 5 files. Looking at them, the one that looks like a picture, it's the IPFS, Interplanetary File System. Okay, so you're going to have one called IPFS. You'll have one called LOD0 and LOD1, LOD2, sorry, IPFS, LOD0, LOD1, LOD2, and then one called NFT. Okay, so those are the 5 files. Now, then what will happen is you will need a link to the Upland Creator Hub. And it looks like this. Now you're going to click on Validator. And then you need to choose what it is you are submitting. In this case, like the red heart, that is a map asset. So click Map Asset. And then you will drag the appropriate file. So this is the IPFS. Drag it there. The LOD0 goes there. LOD1 goes there. LOD2 goes there. And then the NFT file goes there, and you say Start Test. And as long as these are all green bubbles, it means that there were no errors. Then you can go to details and you can find out your model dimensions right here. And you can click submit. And then when you fill out the submission form, you have your model name. And do notice that all of my files were renamed. So the designer sent me the files, and then I renamed them to Shak's Love Drop Metallic IPFS, Shak's Love Drop Metallic LOD0, etc. The names of your files need to match the name of your model, which you will enter right here, Shak's Love Drop Metallic. When you enter your username, make sure you use all lowercase. If you use any capital letters, it will return an error when you submit. So make sure you use all lowercase for your Upland username. And then you'll enter your factory address, and then you will enter the link to the preview of your model on p3d.in. Okay, so that's the process, submission process. Now, what is p3d.in? It is the site that I was just showing you where Manu Miyoto had her assets for display. So I'll show you that again. You are going to need to get a p3d.in account so that you can put your assets that you buy from an artist. You're going to want to create an account and then add a new model right here, new model. When you click new model, you will be able to drag the NFT version of your file into your account, and then you will provide the p3d.in link to that item on your asset submission. So that's how to make your factory work. And there's a few steps in there, and there's a learning process, but this gives you the basics so that you can get started. So we remove this from the screen. And I hope that has helped you to understand some of what's involved with making your factory work. You can DM me with questions, head into the Upland server on Discord, and find the channel that's for UGC community. And you can head into the UGC, you can ask who is designing for you, and you can get to work bringing your business ideas, your dreams, your creativity to life in the Upland metaverse. And I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I have 3 factories myself. Currently, I'm sure that I will have more, but I'm manufacturing map assets and structure ornaments. I work together with other players in the game to get designs from them and manufacture them in my factories and sell them in my showrooms, and I love it. So if that is a dream that you have, I encourage you to get started on it. I just went over the basics of how to do that. That is how you make your factory work. You have to have a 3D design in your hands. You have to have the files that you can submit to Upland, and you can get those files by working together with a great UGC designer in Upland. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, reach out if you have any questions. Tap into the metaverse, and I will see you in Upland.
Upland Metaverse.